Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the Real Talk Studios here in Manny from New Jersey. I am Matt Tsutsuti. This is the Penguin Lover, although he is wearing a Knights jersey.
Supporting the Knights tonight.
Yeah. Well, we are covering that division.
Yes, we are.
This is Michael Klankoff right on over here. And right over here is the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Darkwing, Brian Daly. We get to go to his neck of the woods this week.
Yes, we do.
My bread and butter, baby. Let's go.
All right. And behind the board, once again, for another session here on the Hockey Happy Hour, is none other than Mr. Ryan Brodo.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Yes. He's not going to be happy before this show's over. We can already guarantee it.
It's a Thursday again, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Damn it.
Hey, the word of the day is bubble, though, for Mr. Brodo.
It is.
So
It's my word of the day.
let's get ready to burst it. So,
I love it. I like
Hockey
bubbles.
Happy Hour is brought to you by Skinzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.skinzanosports.com.
Ow. That hurt my hand. that one was loud.
It was meant to be loud, damn it. Oh, it's called taking a bump. For those who don't know, that's wrestling lingo. Feel free to check out Lazy Booking, though, before the show anytime you want to. So, gentlemen, today we have the Pacific Division that we are going to be breaking down. But we're not just breaking down the Pacific Division. It has started, gentlemen. The NHL preseason has begun.
Yes.
And lots to talk about in that regard. And, of course, as always, you two guys are looking at the preseason as, that's all right. We already got all the guys we want on the team. I'm looking at it as this is the time for us to continue developing in the right direction.
Unfortunately for the Flyers, I'm sure you probably haven't heard, Morgan Frost being cut already, being sent down to juniors.
It does suck. I'm not going to lie. But, unfortunately, it seems like it's not a surprise because there's a lot of competition that's been coming up here in this training camp as well for this preseason. I mean, we got guys coming in on tryouts, and they're actually putting on phenomenal shows right now. So it's like, oh, shit. We got a lot of guys to choose from here. That's a good problem to have. I mean, I would like to see Morgan Frost. I absolutely wanted to, but
Still a young guy.
yeah, still a young
So
guy, but at
let
the
him
same
develop.
time, yeah, and at the same time too, there's a lot of talent that's shown itself
Absolutely.
right now here, and you're just, brushing
I got to
off
make
the
it look good.
27.
I got to make it look nice.
I know. It's
not traditional Scott Niedermayer, but it's still Scott Niedermayer.
Let's just be happy.
He deserves it.
Listen, I'm happy it's not traditional Scott Niedermayer. That would require another jersey. But anyway, so with that, preseason begins for the Flyers, and we got Rob Povia chime in. What's up, Pove?
What's up, Pope?
Saying,
What's
have
up,
a great
Pove?
show, boys. We'll definitely try to.
Thank you.
And we're going to dive into our preseason look right here. By the way, though, if you guys are interested, hopefully you are, because I know I am, the Twitter poll that we got going out, and that is who will win the Pacific Division. It is, choices are other in the D category, so you can feel free to pick anybody else. You can pick the Coyotes if you want to. I wouldn't.
Good luck.
Yeah. And at A, you have the San Jose Sharks, which is one.
With the addition of Eric Carlson, that would
Everybody.
be a good choice.
Don't
That's
worry.
good.
We'll talk about it a little bit later on. Hey, listen, I still gave you guys some love, though. You are one of the choices. The Anaheim Ducks are another choice.
Yes.
And as
Hey, you made it.
And of,
Yeah, we made the cut.
and of course, the Las Vegas Golden Knights are the choices you can make
Ugh.
to see who will win the Pacific Division.
Too late to change my seat.
No.
I mean, you can.
I mean, I'll sit next to Danny B. I have no problem with the guy.
I mean, Danny B,
He's a guy I hated because he always scored against us, but
that's a beautiful thing.
yeah.
But you know what? Danny B is Mr. Playoff. He deserves some recognition. He belongs here on this chair.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right.
Giving Recky a little break tonight.
Got lots of comments coming in here on Facebook Live already.
All right. Let's go on in.
Tom Arnone picking the Knights. Going to be the Knights boys.
All right.
My man Rob. Pove, I knew I liked you saying the Ducks are going to win the Pacific Division.
Okay.
Then we have Frank Vespi. Hey, yo. Sorry to bother you at work. For me, it's going to be Vegas. Hashtag anybody but San Jose.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's because he hates San Jose.
Apology.
Hashtag Joe Thornton is a jumbo douche. Hashtag Joe Thornton sucks.
And by the way, I think apology was accepted from me and Mike. I'm not so sure, though, about Brian because you picked the Knights. But that's just,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I am supporting tonight. Do I think they'll?
You're not supporting the Knights. You're supporting Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, more of that. Yeah. Definitely.
There's a bad pun to be thrown in there, but
Probably.
we're going to avoid it.
David Raska saying hello. David, what's going on, brother? My man Timothy Stow chiming in. Ducks still winning it all. I hope you're right.
No fear from the Ducks Nation.
I love the Ducks Nation. Love them. Love them all. Chrome chiming in. Golden Knights, fellas. James Wilder, our favorite Canadian. The Ottawa GM hates his job, his team, and most likely his life.
That was absolutely hilarious.
That was great.
That is, you have won the comments today,
Yeah.
sir.
How do you feel about your
Congratulations.
team?
Real quick before
It's
we
a
continue
team.
on to somebody's, if you haven't seen the video, it's a live interview. They're sitting up, getting ready to do a preseason game. The Ottawa GM is sitting in the booth with the commentators, and the question, and I'm just going to paraphrase the question, is along the lines of, like, what are your expectations for your team this year, being that you had all these moves and all these key players gone? His response is, and I quote, "We have a team."
That's it.
That's it. That is all he said. It was absolutely great.
You know where his head is at for this season. He's like, listen, we're going for the first round pick. We're gonna hope that there's a talent out there. But that's about it.
And now their only talented player wants out of Ottawa as well.
Oh, my God. That is the
That is Mark
greatest
Stone.
response from a shitty team.
Stone's
Well,
still
what
there,
can you-
poor
what
guy.
else- What else are you going to say?
But that's the funny part. You hear all of these GMs try to sled around the issue multiple times.
And he just
flat out fucking said it. He's just like, you know what? We have a team.
We have a team,
By
guys.
definition, what I'm saying is we fucking blow, and
Yes.
we're gonna blow for quite some time. So
Absolutely.
if you're still fans of the Ottawa Senators in the next 5 years,
We're
then
sorry.
yes.
We're very sorry.
And we promise you, we will give you a
Listen,
medal if you make it.
It might
through.
just work out. Ask somebody like me being a Penguins fan, okay? It might just work out.
From a team that almost got sold twice.
All right, jumping back to the comments here. Stephen Matthew, the Ducks or Sharks. James Wilder, Jets. James, you missed it. That was last week's show,
Yeah,
bro.
last week. But
Or was that 2 weeks ago?
What?
It was last week.
Of
It was
what?
last week.
Breaking down what?
James Wilder, they're winning all the divisions. David Raskin, Chairman back in. Hashtag Let's Go Ducks says that a few times. Quack, quack, quack. Carlson to San Jose. San Jose Sharks sucks. Balls in my left nut. Well, that
Nice.
was...
Well, hold on. So just the left, wouldn't you want them to also suck on the right? Just saying, if you want them to suck your balls, you're using plural, not singular. I don't know.
Greg Malakovic.
But I'm just saying, if you're gonna rip on a team,
I just think
be consistent.
it's
Why are
absurd
you
to say
thinking
that.
about it?
if you're going to rip somebody,
Brodo's
go all
over
the
there.
way.
Brodo's over there
fucking
trying to
hockey guys.
contemplate it.
He's like, I know it's late for him, but Jesus Christ.
Greg Malakovic, what up, fellas? Can Vegas find the magic again? I'm going Sharks, though. Erickson is just an absolute stud.
Absolutely.
And that is the absolute truth. He is a stud.
They are scary.
And
They
it
are a scary team this year.
scares the shit out of me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As a Ducks fan,
I would. Are you kidding me? I would be scared.
I cried. Oh, James agrees with you. Don't neglect the right nut.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you don't half-ass anything, or in this case, half ball it. But
Brodo's
I
this
mean,
is what I have to listen to. I'm just trying to watch the stream here. Just trying to watch some peaceful football. And
oh, these motherfucking hockey guys! I gotta deal with them
Hashtag
every
right
fucking
nut
Thursday.
talk.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, Greg, that was awesome.
And now we got Brodo fucking just questioning his life right now.
That was a good comment, though, James. I
was
will say. That was pretty good.
Great comment.
That was pretty good.
I
Damn, we
thought
got
Greg's
some.
was even better.
Damn, we got some good
Yeah,
ones
that
right
was
now.
good.
All right, keep the comments coming, guys. Let us know who you think is going to win in the Pacific Division.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna steer away real fast from the Pacific Division. We'll get into the preseason real fast. And so far, so good for the Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers definitely producing well. showing that a lot of young talent has been coming around just saying, hey, we're going to step up and we're going to try and take some spots here. It's becoming the fourth center and the third center position are starting to become very, very difficult to choose right now. I'm just wondering, after seeing what we've seen so far, I know we still have a few more games to go. I would not want to be Dave Haxtell or Hexy at this point because I'm like, well, fuck. We got, like, how many players to choose from for this 3C and 4C position, and we got, like, 6 or 7 young guys stepping up.
That's what you want to see, though. That's the whole point of the preseason is you want to see these young guys step up because there's holes to fill. That makes as hard of a job as it is for Hextall and Haxtall to figure it out. They love seeing it because
absolutely.
It's not only just the competition. It's, hey, we got a spot open. Who really wants it?
Oh.
And we're seeing these young kids step up, especially, what was it, last night in the Rangers game? What was it, a 6-3 final?
Yeah, we've had some crazy scores. I mean, these kids have come, and they've been scoring like – I think they've had 2 6-goal games so far, one against the Islanders, the other one against the Rangers, although if you're not scoring 6 goals on the Islanders, you're not doing a good job.
To be fair, it's the only 2 teams they've played so far.
But still, though, I mean, both teams are, how would we say, one needs to start rebuilding – and the other one is in the process of rebuilding right now.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, though, you take those opportunities to face teams that, you know, may not have as much of a talent pool as you do, and you start to see your young kids develop and start to show their confidence. And I like it. I like what I've been seeing so far. I love the fact that Shane Gostisbehere's been scoring goals because that was a big worry during the season was he was not hitting the net. Now he is. I'm like, oh.
Man, he's playing
good.
too.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I don't know what it is, but the Penguins just aren't playing anybody. The biggest name that the Penguins have played so far is Jake Gensel.
Well, I think because why would you play guys like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin in preseason games?
No, absolutely.
It wouldn't make sense.
But I'm saying that's your best defenseman.
Well,
so it's
yeah.
kind of shocking to me to risk that.
Well, I think it's because of that concern of his shot, you know, where he was missing the net a lot.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that he's being accurate. And so far he's been accurate, and he's been helping up on assists as usual. So, and he's actually saying that he's been trying to work on his defensive play, which he knew was lacking a little bit. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll take that, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing is it's really early in preseason. You don't – in the Penguin situation, you're not necessarily sure that, you know, what you have out of your younger players in your farm system. So you want to take a closer look at them. You know what you're getting from Malkin.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting from
absolutely.
Letang. You know what you're getting from Crosby. You're going to see him more later into the preseason, but right now, it just seems like the Penguins GM is trying to fill some spots.
I think at most they'll probably put Crosby maybe in one.
Maybe. That's all he really needs.
Tops.
But think about it, too. We saw John Tavares. There's no reason for it. I understand it's like the first game, you know, they want to see him in the jersey, but that's so risky.
But it's not even just that. It's a new team. It's a new system. You want to get him on the ice. You want to get some chemistry with his line mates.
That, and look at it this way. It's also a good business deal. I mean, just like first preseason game, might as well make a good buck.
To me, I'd be worried to put up a guy. Like, the guys on the other teams are fighting for a spot, so they'll do anything for a spot, you know? And to put your new star that you just paid $10 million a season for, to put him in a preseason game, to me is scary.
Well, yeah, I understand that risk. But again, though, Tavares, that's the thing, though.
I understand new team and everything,
but Toronto, though, at the end of the day, as much as it's a risk, it's not a debilitating risk because even if the worst ever happened that he got hurt, they still have Austin Matthews.
Yeah, no,
and still
absolutely.
a phenomenal team. They need Tavares to get them over the hump that they've been in the playoffs, but he comes back during the regular season and still.
No, I'm just saying. To me, it's a bit of a risk factor. I understand what they're trying to do, like you said, getting used to the line setup, power play, all that stuff. But I mean, that would scare me.
I mean, I get your point. It's Jonathan Tavares. You know what you're getting from JT. But at the same time, you know, like the point is, it's a new team.
Yeah.
It's a new city. It's a new system, new head coach. You want to get him as acclimated to the system as soon as possible. And a lot of that is going to come from playing and not just practicing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and not only that, too, also, but you do bring up a good point. This has been a preseason where there have been some injury issues. The Flyers did lose Lyon. He's going to be out for 4 weeks. He's not going to be out for a long period of time. Great news, though. Still, Andrew McDonald is not going to make the start of the season. Thank God.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
Thank you so fucking much.
That's a shame. We know the defense is going to be a little bit good, but
It's only going to be a week.
it's all right. We don't play you guys till like February anyways.
yeah, and by then that piece of shit will be back in the lineup, so he'll just leave nice giant positions open for you guys in the fucking slot. But anyway,
That's what he does.
don't say we didn't give anything to you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
See what he did there?
That's okay.
I saw what he did there.
yep.
Thanks.
But with that, oh, it's been an interesting preseason so far. Guys like Jordan Wheel have been playing very well so far. Scott Lawton, which we've been hoping for Scott Lawton for a while, and that poor guy has had the worst fucking luck when it comes to him developing as a player between his injury problems and just not scoring goals, simply because he's been on the shittiest of lines. You know, he was on like fourth line one time, third line's like, what the fuck goals he's going to score on those lines?
Yeah.
None.
Question for you guys, as
Sure.
kind of like a preseason question for you guys. Give me one team, and question to people at home as well, if they want to chime in on this. Give me one team in the NHL that you guys think will take a big leap forward and a big leap back.
My biggest leap forward this year, to me, we're going to talk about them tonight, is Calgary. I mean, I think to me they made a lot of big moves. They finished fifth in the division last year. I think they'll definitely do a little bit better. I know the division is very tough once you get to the top of that order, but
Well,
I mean, they got 5 solid players on this team that they just brought over, you know, so
Absolutely. And
Well,
I think they're only going to get better. I mean, they got a potential 40-goal scorer with James Neal.
they do.
So,
What kind of leap are we talking about? Just regular season, postseason, or just in general?
Well, I'll just say a team that was, lower in the ranks that will make a drastic improvement, whether that means making the playoffs or whatever. You know what I mean? A team that dramatically goes forward into contention.
For me, I will say it will be the Avalanche. I think they'll do a lot more this year than they did last year, where they'll actually be competing in the division, not just in the wild card.
Dale?
I actually think it's going to be the Buffalo Sabres taking the biggest leap forward, bringing in all the leadership that they did this offseason. I mean, granted, their goaltending is still a huge question mark, but they brought in a lot of leadership that they lacked last year, and that could really potentially help these young guys, especially guys like Jack Eichel, take the next step forward.
Yeah, they're going to be tough. If they don't give some headaches to the wild card race this year, they will definitely try and compete for one next year. I think that's a safe bet on them.
Now, how about a team that you think will take a drastic step back?
For one, it will definitely be the New York Islanders. They will definitely be taking a drastic step backwards. Most
think
likely
so
will
as
be
well.
dead last in the Metropolitan, but we'll talk about that next week and more in
yeah,
depth
we'll
on
get to that
one.
too, but there's another team in the Metro that me and Brian were talking about outside. I'm not a big fan of Carolina this year, and where they were last year compared to what they gave away this year, and, not really bringing in too much. It's just mostly based off of the youth of that team now.
They've been selling more than they've been
Yes,
buying.
and what they're selling has been pretty important pieces to their team. I mean, getting rid of Jeff Skinner was obviously their biggest, as well as Cam Ward as well. So, to me, it's very scary for Hurricane fans and what they're doing. I mean, they finished about right smack in the middle with 83 points last season. So, I don't think they're matching that this year. But, looking at the teams below, they're all teams that I don't really think will either pass them. I mean, some of them will, but, I think the Islanders are better, Rangers are better, Buffalo will be better. They should be better. So, they should be.
They should
be.
That
Rasmus
is the-
Dahlin should put some defense on that team.
Keyword.
Getting Carter Hutton is a plus as well. So,
Just remember,
yeah,
keyword
to
is
me,
should. Remember.
there's Carolina, and, we'll get to
But yeah, bro, walking in and out because we have
Yeah,
a live feed going on for Thursday night football between the Jets and the Browns.
well, Baker's on the field, so we got to watch it. I mean, it's his
and
first appearance.
The damn thing died again, and we're just got to go back. He did it earlier, too, on Lazy Booking. Oh.
I'm not letting the computer win this one, okay?
You cannot catch a break with that damn thing at all.
My
Oh.
team that's taken a step back, and it's not going to be too drastic because they took a huge one last year. They're going to continue falling back, and that's the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think they did much to improve. They didn't do anything really to to really take away from the roster. I mean, they lost Patrick Maroon to where did he go? St. Louis.
Yeah.
That was really the one off the top of my head, and they didn't bring anybody in outside of McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. What's really there? I mean, there's probably a few other players you can mention, but that's it.
Yeah.
They just signed Darnell Nurse to what was it, a 3-year extension?
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry, Donovan McNabb's nephew.
Hey, listen. That is a very important name. He died for the sins of Philadelphia. And he led the Eagles to a Super. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was Nick Foles. Sorry.
He did
My
lead
bad.
the
My bad.
Eagles to a Super Bowl.
Didn't win it,
Didn't
though.
win a Super Bowl,
But multiple
did lead
NFC
to 'em.
championships. But anyway, James
It's
Wilder.
okay, bro. I mean, it happens.
What? No
You
one
guys
here-
got one. You guys could live off of this one right now. I mean, come on. I
Says
would
the guy with like 50.
I would be doing it all season. I hear it enough from the one guy at work. That's all he talks about is how good the Eagles are, and we're the Super Bowl champs. I'm like, all right, dude, I get it. Live it.
Hey,
live
listen,
it out now. Okay.
Have you ever once just come back with him? It's like, yeah, try and get the most, and then come back and talk.
I don't.
To
I
me.
don't say that because it's like a cockroach thing to do, like the Cowboys fans. So
All right,
I mean,
Andre
it's-
Kasha on the board.
I can say, hey, I got 6. We have the most ever in NFL history, but I try to refrain from that because it's been 10 years this season.
It's
that
okay. There was one guy
the Steelers have won a Super Bowl. So
Frodo's face.
before we jump back into
Just being real.
hockey. I had one guy comment on a post I put in the Eagles group chat who said that it was luck last year that the Eagles will never win another one and all this other stuff. I'm like, bro, like what?
Is this an Eagles fan?
I don't know if he was or not, but he's like, last year was luck. We lost to the Buccaneers. We shouldn't be losing to the Buccaneers, all this other stuff. I'm like, bro, it's week 2.
Yeah.
He is an Eagles
It's
fan.
week
Absolutely.
2.
It is week 2.
Well,
The Eagles
Everybody's
went
losing to the
1-1.
Bucks so far. I mean, come on, we're about to get our asses chewed on
The
Monday
Buccaneers
night.
aren't a bad team.
that was
Jeez.
I heard that on the radio too, by the way, on the dial, which spouts out lies and bullshit.
Listen,
but,
I'm not looking
if-
forward to playing the Buccaneers
But-
Monday night. I can tell you, we don't beat them.
But the funny
we haven't beaten them.
the funny part of it is too is that as I was hearing the blasphemy that was being said on the dial, there was this one fan who was on there and he was complaining about how this guy sucked today and how he should be replaced and we should have just gone out in free agency. I'm like, dude. It's only the second
I know.
fucking week of the season. If this was week 10, maybe you got something to worry about. But
That's what Philly fans do.
Things are going to
too.
change. They'll be able to move the
Relax.
ball. The defense
My
won't be as stressed
God.
out now. So
that's like me saying we immediately need to get rid of fucking Shane Gostisbehere because he couldn't shoot accurately on net for like 20 games. I'm like, no. It just means he's got to fucking work on that shit in the offseason. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus,
All right,
relax,
back to hockey.
people.
Yeah.
Back to
why-
hockey.
See what I did? I stirred it back. But anyway, overall, before we finish up with the Facebook comments, overall what I will say is so far preseason has looked good for the fans of Philadelphia Flyers. It's looking good so far. We have a lot of stock on the wing, believe it or not. We've had some decent pairing on the blue line. However, though, Andrew McDonald being out does help. However, we did lose Travis Sanheim, but he'll be back before the season really gets going. Unfortunately, though, Andrew McDonald apparently is looking a lot more ahead of schedule. Fuck. But, it is what it is.
Well, keep in mind, he was only supposed to be out weeks, not months. So
yeah.
Why
It was,
couldn't he
what,
be
like
out
a
for years?
4 to
Christ.
6 weeks, I believe.
he's
That.
got 3 more years on his contract.
God,
Anyway,
could we not
James
put him on,
Wilder.
hold on, before James says that, can we not put him on long IR and then send his contract off to Arizona?
It's not going to work.
Damn it! Can't ever have anything. Can't have anything fucking nice.
They already
Going
have
for
like
him.
7 contracts like that. But anyway, James Wilder chiming in on Facebook Live. Ottawa obviously falls off. That's a given. Montreal won't do much. Another given. Maybe not the biggest leaps, but I think the New Jersey and Philly don't just sneak into the playoffs as a layup teams this year.
I like that idea. I think the only thing that still holds us back is as long as our goaltending situation isn't a problem and our defense is much better, we should be okay. But those are the big question marks going into the season right now.
David Roska, Florida Panthers will make noise this year. Of course they will.
Oh, yeah. That team made noise and gave everybody a scare towards the end of the season. I mean, I know that my team was at risk to being replaced by them until the very last minute.
Yeah. I'm very optimistic about them. I don't know which way to go with Florida this year, but We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, if Luongo plays very well, that team could very easily be competing in a wild card position. But that is bearing on it, and I think one of the Jets got busted
Is he
open.
crying?
Either
He
he's
might be
crying or he got busted open.
Oh, he's busted open.
All right,
It
then.
looked almost like he was just crying. I'm going to say he's crying.
Yeah,
'Cause
let's
he's
just keep it
probably
at that.
like, if I don't make it in the NFL, I know I'm going to jail because I have 2 charges right now. on
He
me.
had
It's only
20
Robbie
guys
Anderson.
surrounding
Yeah.
him. He got suits
All right.
everywhere.
I was going to say, we're going to see Baker's first touchdown of his career probably right here. So, but yeah, we'll see though. I mean, it's this year.
It's only preseason.
It
It's
is
a-
only preseason.
is-
I'm not getting too excited, but I like
No.
seeing the young guys showing what they can do. Because, I mean, as a Philadelphia fan, I know sometimes we like to skip over preseason, but you shouldn't this year because this is just as important. The preseasons over the last 3 years have been extremely important because the young guys, this is a chance for us to see where they're at. It's a chance for us that Carter Hart actually made his first appearance in a Flyers jersey.
And I heard
he did
looked
very
good.
well against the Islanders. It's a great teaser for the future. And I'm again, keep your eyes on the prize. I like what I saw in preseason, and we'll see what goes on moving forward. That's the way I'll look forward.
Real quick, I just wanted to go into the Penguins preseason game as well. Obviously, they took a loss to Buffalo 3-2, put a little comeback in the third period. But I just want to read off Buffalo's lineup.
Please feel free.
I want to give you key names here. Okay, I got Jack Eichel,
okay.
Gergensen, Kyle Okposo, Jamie Pominville, Jeff Skinner, Vladimir Savoka, Rasmus Dahlin, McCabe, and Ristolainen, as well as Carter Hutton starting goaltender Tuesday night. Now, let me tell you the big names that the Penguins played. Jake Gensel, Ole Mata. And we lost by 1. I'm just saying. We had Casey DeSmith starting as our goaltender, who is, by the way, is the third-string goalie, sometimes second, depending how Jari plays. But I'm looking at this, and I'm like, my dad was getting worried. He's like, man, why are we getting our asses kicked? It's 3-0 going into the third. I'm like, did you see who they're playing? They're playing their starting lineup tonight.
They
This is their team for the starting lineup right now. Like, this is opening day roster
They played half of their starting roster against
our AHL team, and we almost won.
So it was the Buffalo Sabres versus the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, with the exception of Gensel and Mata.
Exactly. I mean, there was a. He
he
missed
missed it.
He had to have missed that. Oh, he got it. He snuck
wow,
it in.
he snuck that
Woo.
in.
But
But
Hold
again,
on,
it's another.
hold on,
It's
hold
the
on,
same
hold on.
situation as Toronto. Buffalo is playing with a lot of guys that are coming into a new system, a new team. These guys have to get situated in their new surroundings with the new head coach, a new system. They have to play.
It just
to
had
be
me
fair,
dying, though.
Yeah, I know. And to be fair, though, you don't have any chemistry with these guys. You kind of want to take advantage of preseason and allow that to
Absolutely.
happen.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And like I said, Pittsburgh doesn't really have many changes. Like, you're just looking for a couple holes here and there.
Yeah.
By the way, was the Browns kicker not that far away from that field goal?
Oh,
yeah,
he
almost-
made it by like
he
that
almost-
much.
yeah.
No, I know, but how far away was he?
27 yards.
Oh my! Well,
I can
hey,
tell you,
Browns fans, it looks like the Super Bowl's all fucking yours. It's locked up now.
Back-
You can depend on your fucking pro kicker right there.
my senior year of high school, I was like, Coach, let me just kick a field goal. By the way, nailed a 35-yarder. And he's like, why aren't you our kicker? I was like, because I have to snap the ball. Good times. Good times.
All right.
It's a shame when you're the long snapper and
David
I'm the one
Roscoe let us
nailing a
know the
35
Stars
yard.
won.
The Stars won.
Stars
Okay.
beat the Wild 3-1.
It's just as irrelevant as NFL preseason, really.
It
Well-
really is, and it's the same deal. Like, yeah, you have to worry about injuries, but you bring in new guys to your teams. These guys have to get acclimated to the system, and the only way to do that is to have them play.
Yeah,
But that's why
You can't do it in
See,
practice.
That's the beauty thing of the Flyers, is that the Flyers have these young guys who've been in their system for a while. Really, you're just watching them continue to progress moving forward. You're really not bringing in people to fit into the system, which isn't a bad thing, because I'd rather have homegrown talent, because we've did that wheel and deal shit, and it got us about as far as a Stanley Cup Finals appearance and nothing more. But anyway, we got a comment coming in here on the YouTube saying from Stevie Vernand 1, and he says, what's your guys' least favorite hockey team? And he went on to say, I hate the New Jersey Devils. I am definitely there to agree with you. I think the Devils are basically Lucifer, and I believe that they should not exist, and they're all a bunch of scumbags and pieces of shit. But that's just me.
It's kind of how I feel about the LA Kings. I hate the Kings. I hate them with a passion.
Although you're starting to develop quite a hatred for these guys over here.
Yeah, well, it's working on it.
Well, it's only because it was their first season. He'll hate them more by the end of the
Oh,
season.
don't worry. I've already pretty much looked at it this way. The Golden Knights are going to be the New Jersey Devils of the West.
Yeah.
No one fucking likes them because
Yeah.
they're just a pain in the fucking ass,
Yep.
basically.
And the Anaheim only beat them once last year. I think that's another reason why I don't like them. But the Kings, I just hate them. They're right up the interstate. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, that is your rival.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the same hatred for me between either the Capitals or the Flyers. But as of now, just because of competition, I hate Washington a little more.
What are you trying to
But
say?
I'm just trying to say that the competition between the Flyers hasn't been as rough as it's been with the Capitals. So my hatred for the Flyers is not as much as it used to be.
For now.
You say that now.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I'm
gonna
saying it's for
change
now,
eventually.
but it will change because the Flyers are definitely up and coming. So
It's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun
this Metro
series.
is going to be fucking.
You know what's
hell.
going to happen. This is what because the hockey gods work this way. You guys got us this time. I guarantee you, in like a couple years, we're probably going to meet each other again, and by that time, Crosby's going to be 30-something still.
We still got him till he's 37. So
yeah,
we
but
still got
but
6
you guys
more
are going to be
years.
a little bit older and a little bit longer in the tooth, and the Flyers are going to be much younger, and it's going to be a totally different story than when
Absolutely.
it was. Because by then, I'm pretty sure Carter Hart will probably be in a Flyers jersey by then.
I'm assuming
and then we'll have a
Carter Hart will be in a Flyers jersey at some point this season.
Yeah,
so.
it could
Absolutely.
happen depending upon trade deadline time, what's
Yeah.
going on. And if that's the case, then it'd be real interesting to see Murray versus Hart. I'd actually love to see that goaltending
Yeah.
matchup. That would be fun.
It would be a pretty good matchup.
But, and then he goes on to say, what about your most hated current player? Thanks for the response. I love all the shows on this channel. Hey, we love you too, man. Keep
Thanks,
it in.
man.
And he also agreed on hating the New Jersey Devils. Thank you very much. The Devils are the worst fucking franchise in the NHL to date. Fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, I would say my most hated current player is obvious. It's Sidney fucking Crosby. There's really
Thank
no
you.
competition in my eyes. What about you? Who is your most hated player?
Brad Marchand.
That's a good candidate.
I just think he's
Yeah.
an overall douchebag.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
it's,
candidate.
you know, player that I respect but hate the play is obviously Ovechkin because he gets us every time. But if there's a guy that I just think is an overall douchebag in this league, it's got to be Brad Marchand. I have no respect for him at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Brad Marchand either. I've always looked at him as kind of he's like a Crosby. He likes to cry, you know.
He's just a little weasel. That's all he is.
That's what he
you
is.
know?
But isn't that how Crosby
That's what makes him. But that's what makes him good.
Yeah, I'm not
know?
saying. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad tactic. I'm just
Yeah,
saying it's one of those
I
things that
don't-
makes you fucking hate them more.
I just don't. I can't respect him. I
You
just
know,
can't.
again,
and he's
though-
licking people. I mean, come on. It's a good tactic, but come on.
You know what the funny part is? Actually, go back in the history books. There was actually a game, and the Flyers got fucking crushed by the Bruins. But Danny Carcillo, because he was still on the team on the Flyers this time, he could swear up and down someone bit him on the Bruins.
Really?
I swear to God he did this, and he was yelling at someone that he fucking bit me, and you could read it too.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, damn.
I think I remember that.
I'm surprised
Yep.
Carcillo didn't bite anybody, but then he had no teeth, so he
Yeah,
couldn't
he
really do
couldn't.
it. He
It
could
was
gum
just-
them, but
it was
that's
just
pretty
gums.
much. I don't think that's going to have as much of an effect.
No.
All right, so what about you, Brian? Is there a player out in the western side of the NHL that you absolutely fucking despise?
I was thinking about it, and a lot of people come to mind. Dustin Brown,
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Milan Lucic,
That also makes sense.
Brad Marchand.
I fucking hated Milan Lucic when he was a fucking Bruin.
There's a lot.
I
that
thought you
don't
hated
like.
Zach Cassian.
He's just so irrelevant. I just hated him in that playoff run.
Oh, okay, got you.
But I mean, like there's a list for me of guys that I despise. It's a huge list, but those are my top three:
All right.
Brad Marchand, Dustin Brown, and Milan Lucic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to grow a healthy hatred of Taylor Hall before this is all said and done.
Yeah, he's been doing good.
Not there yet because we haven't met him in the playoffs yet, but that will change sometime soon. I know I'm going to fucking hate Taylor Hall real soon. I know I will. And Nico Hersher. I'll probably hate both of them real soon. But anyway. So, with that, I don't know why I grabbed the fuck. Why the fuck did I grab that? We're not
going to
leaving.
break yet.
We're not going to break. What the fuck am I doing?
Here's another question for you. It's big-time breaking news, all right?
Okay.
Big time. Apparently, there's a report out there for Flyers fans. The Flyers are going to get a new mascot.
Ooh.
So, and now there's a running
Is it
joke
a
on Twitter.
Piece of paper?
Well, it might be.
Okay.
I was going to say there's a running joke that on Twitter that the Flyers are going to get a mascot before they got a goalie.
Ooh.
I actually think that's kind of good, to be honest.
That's
I mean, you got to laugh at it,
it's a
Matty,
good-
because
it's a good
there's
rib.
some truth in it.
It's a good rib because there is some truth to it. It stings a little bit, but you know what? At the end of the day, though, whoever made that comment, I would love to know their team because if
Flyers fan.
if it was a Flyers fan,
Yeah, it was Flyers.
all right, then that's funny. It's acceptable because he's a
Fine.
Flyers fan. He's digging at his own team.
So
Completely accepted.
if Mike said it, it would not be funny.
Oh no, that wouldn't be. That'd be a dig. That's a total dig right
Understand.
there. Absolute
Understand.
dig.
All right,
Understandable.
Ducks up 2-1.
All right then.
Very good. Preseason.
Well, no. Hold on. Let's get the preseason clap out. It's the golf clap.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about here, at this preseason.
I hate you
juncture.
all.
What?
Tiger.
Hey, listen. I'm trying to appeal to our producer. He is a golfer after all. We
So
want
am I.
to. But at the
I'm
same.
just not nearly as good as he is.
But still, though, point is that he is, rabid. This guy's getting up at how early in the morning to watch the freaking golfing tournaments out there in
I
the British
appreciate that,
Isles
buddy.
and
I
shit.
appreciate it.
You know, just say I'm trying to connect us as a
Stop,
unit
ball.
here and as a family here.
Really good read of the green. He's taking his time. Oh, there goes
Matty,
Tiger.
that's a good point you got there, Matty. Matty, that's a
I'm
really
just
good
I'm
point
just
you got
saying
there.
I'm trying to connect
Tiger takes
this family together. I'm not like
Takes a
that
wa-
jackass
his
who's on the
walk
screen
around.
right now, Colin Dumbass. But anyway, that's a different story.
Takes
That,
a walk around.
Absolutely. But
That went a different direction than I thought, Colin.
why don't we get into what we're here for tonight, though?
The Pacific Division.
Since we're already 40 minutes in and we haven't talked about one team in the Pacific.
Well, hey, listen, it's the preseason. We knew it was going
I
to get
know,
a
I
little
know,
bit
I know.
backburned, but
Yeah.
not too bad. All right. Hey, listen, we got time. Seriously. All right. So, the Pacific
he
Division.
just misses the putt.
Imagine if they announced hockey that way.
Just a little
Oh,
short.
my God, it would be horrible.
He takes the shot on net. Up. He scored. He scores. Goal.
Good God. That'd be like
What a hit.
That's probably the most Canadian. That actually sounds like the Canadian broadcast team. Dry as dry
see?
can be.
See, we should have never gave Brodo a chance. This is what happened.
It's the off-track,
It's
babe.
the off track.
Skates up down the line.
All right, cut it off.
Along the
Let's
boards.
go.
No.
Let's
No,
get down
what
to
a hit.
business.
Come on. We don't get down to brass tacks around here. That's for Gibson Mayer to worry
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, what if they did a fight like that?
You guys are proving my point right now.
See? This is exactly. We're off schedule, damn it.
So, and off kilter and a little bit off of our noggins, but that's a different story.
Yes.
But can you imagine? It's like, oh, that was
Just need a
that was.
I want to end it, Clay Cough, but he's not at me.
I'm trying.
I know you
that.
are.
No.
I commend
No.
it.
No, listen. Fuck that. Fuck that. That was a wonderful right hook that I just
Just
saw.
give me
coming
a-
from Brad Marchand right to Sidney Crosby's face.
That's all. I just need one of them, and then. Okay,
you
thank
go.
you. All right, cut it off.
To the Pacific Division we go. And as par for the course, we are doing worst to first. And we will start with the number 8 position.
I think we all know who that's going to be.
Do we?
Arizona.
I actually put Vancouver there.
No,
No.
I think Vancouver's a much better team this year going into the
I
season.
still think that they're second to bottom, Vancouver.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're the worst, but there's too much competition in the in that division to even say that they're better than second or second to worst, I should say.
I mean, honestly, though,
Don't compete with Edmonton for that
For that second, the worst
the-
spot, yeah.
third to worst
Absolutely.
actually.
Because that top 5 after that is you could
I don't
you
know.
might be able to go either way.
I don't know. I just feel like,
I mean,
you
there's,
know,
there's 2 teams that
every
you know.
once in a while you'll see a sub off. And I feel like that'll probably be this year where Arizona will get to 7th place and be like, oh, they're making
They're
fucking
on track.
progress.
We knew
Here
this
we
was
go.
coming, guys.
Here we go. We're going to build this team back up before you know it. They're
Yep.
going to lose to the Los Angeles Kings in the Western Conference Finals
Yeah.
like they did the last time at the peak of their performance.
But I'm absolutely with you, Brian. I still think Arizona they did get some pieces, Michael Grabner was a big one.
Alex Galchenyuk.
Yeah, Galchenyuk.
Got him in a
think
trade with Max Domi.
By the way, Domi suspended for the rest of the preseason for whatever happened. I just saw that.
He sucker punched Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, so he's out for the remainder of the preseason.
Boy, Dad taught him a lot in the offseason.
Yeah.
This is why you don't let Ty Domi take time with his son to teach him some tricks. That's not.
Oh, I'm sure he probably knew that trick well before his dad taught him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, his dad probably taught him
But
that.
his
He probably
last
taught
night-
him
to
when he
watch
was
videos
younger.
of him.
Like, honestly.
That's all. Hey, here's your dad on TV.
Yeah, pretty much. He probably took everything from his day. Probably watched the night that he beat the shit out of that Philadelphia Flyers fan. Of course, that fan had it coming. But,
Well deserved.
Yeah, honestly, I got to call it like I see it. That fan had it fucking coming.
Absolutely.
But
But
Arizona, they brought in some offensive pieces. They have a couple defensemen that can line up, but I still don't think they have the goaltender that they want.
Well, I don't really – that's the thing, though. I don't think Vancouver – they're kind of in the same spot. They're still kind of rebuilding their team, too. So I think, like, honestly, I think they're probably going to – at this time, there's going to be that sub-off where one will be last, the other one will be second to last.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really no big deal. Any one of these two teams could be dead last.
They're definitely going to battle
honestly,
for
yeah,
eighth position
yeah.
in this division this year. But overall, I think it is Arizona that will win the worst spot again.
All right.
Do I think they'll be better? Yeah, I do think they will be better this season. Like I said, they did get some nice pieces. But I still think that, Vancouver will outdo them by just a couple points. I mean, Vancouver was looking pretty decent last year until they lost Brock Boucher for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and he should be back. He should be ready to go. I'm trying to look at the roster here to see who Vancouver brought in. They brought in Jay Beagle.
Oh yeah, wow, Beagle. So
They
that's
still
a good
have Louis
sentiment.
Eriksson, Sam Gagne. So they still have some good offensive pieces. Marcus Granlund, Horvat. Just to name a couple here. Let's go down to defense here. See who they got. Alexander Edler, Michael Del Zotto, Eric Goodbranson.
Hey, remember when Del Zotto was a Flyer?
I do for what, a quick year.
Yeah.
Chris
Remember
Andy
how
went
bad he
to
was?
Nashville, right? Did he go to Nashville after, or was he in Nashville before?
No, actually, Del Zotto was on the team for 2 years, and actually, he wasn't that bad.
No.
He was a Ranger, then he was a Predator, then he was a Flyer.
Okay, so he went
Yeah,
to
he was
Nashville
there for like
first.
2 years.
Okay.
I think he was on the Flyers. They signed him for one year, then they re-upped him.
I do like their goaltending situation a lot better in Vancouver than Arizona. I think that's
Just
going to be
go.
what keeps them from.
Just go.
You know you want to do it.
And Jacob Markstrom. I think
Okay.
Markstrom is a really
Yeah.
good
He's
young
a solid,
goaltender.
Yeah.
I just think like either way, both teams are not gonna be. They all have.
They're going to be irrelevant in this division. Let's just say that.
It doesn't really matter what we're talking about where we have them. We all know that they're not competing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all pretty much know this.
We all could definitely agree that these two teams are not competing, as well as the team that I have above these two with Edmonton. I just
so
don't
weird
think
not
that they.
seeing the Sedin twins on the roster.
Yes,
It is
that
weird,
that is
right?
absolutely
Yeah.
weird. That is a first.
I was almost going to bring them up, and I'm just like, wait a second, they retired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty sad, but
But with that, yeah. So that's our 8th position.
I
yeah,
like-
my eight's
yeah,
definitely
My
Arizona.
8's Arizona. My 7 could possibly be Edmonton.
My 7th's gonna be Arizona. I don't think they're
No.
going any higher than that. Don't get me wrong. Did Edmonton do anything to improve themselves? Fuck no. But
Still think that they're the better team.
yeah, they're definitely a better team than Arizona. I can give them that much.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but that's not saying much. That's not saying a whole hell of a lot. But yeah.
Oh, Philly special. Philly special.
And the
To
Stream
Baker for the 2
Bros.
point. Wow. Way to tie the game with the Philly special.
That was a 2-point conversion. Yeah.
Excuse me, as I saw on ESPN 60, it's actually called Detroit. It's a high school football play.
Actually, I believe that. Isn't that where Peterson coached? Originally was
I forget.
Michigan.
I forget exactly where. No,
Not Michigan, but in Michigan.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know his background.
And we come right back off topic.
Yeah, no, but
anyway.
it was just real quick. But
No, it
yeah.
wasn't.
So I mean, I have Vancouver as my 7 spot. I I think that's just as good as they're going to do. I mean, they're going to compete in the same position that they really were in last year. So
Well, like they're getting Brock Bozier back, but Edmonton, I have no faith in Edmonton. I said this when Cam Talbot went to Edmonton. I said he's not going to do anything special. Yeah, he had that 42-win season. Good. But he's just a flash in the pan.
yeah,
That's
but
all he is. That's all Edmonton does. They build up, they have one really good year, and then they fucking go right back to earth.
but here's my thing: they still have Connor McDavid, which Vancouver does not.
They
And
don't.
that's fine.
So-
That's just one player.
But the problem.
Yeah, but that one player is the leading point scorer for the last 2 seasons. So I mean,
Here's the problem.
he's obviously something
Here's
special.
the problem with Edmonton.
You know?
They
There's no
have-
doubt there.
Here's the problem with Edmonton. Shaky defense, shaky goaltending. They have done nothing to address these issues. And it's like they're trying to follow the Gretzky system. Like, listen. Gretzky had Yari fucking Curry. He had Paul Coffey. And he had Grant Fuhrer in the back of his net. Even Gretzky had a fucking goalie. So, guys, I don't know what part of this you're not understanding. Get a fucking goalie. You could have gotten fucking Smith, and you decided not to do that. You let Calgary win those sweepstakes. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, it's not hard to figure this out that Cam Talbot's a backup. At best, he's backup.
The goal differential for Edmonton last year was -29.
Which tells you everything you need to fucking know. It's like, seriously. Defense has been terrible, and goaltending on top of it.
I mean, Vancouver needs to up their defense. Offensively, I think they could be solid. Edmonton is outside of that first line.
they're a shit show.
It's not necessarily that they're a shit show, but they lost all their depth.
And that's then indicates that they're going to have problems, which is why you guys gave your 7th, right?
Yeah.
So on to my 6th. That's Edmonton for me.
Yeah, me too.
Edmonton's pretty much just going to sit right the fuck there. They're not going to be anywhere near competing for a wild card spot. It's really pretty much going to come down to these top 5 teams, and that's pretty much it. That's it.
And
in
that's
the
where I
Pacific
have
division.
That's where I have Vancouver. I think Vancouver's a better team overall. I think they have the better goaltending situation. They're a little more solid at defense.
Who's their goalie again? Is it Miller?
Jacob Markstrom.
That's not Miller anymore. Yeah, that's right. It is Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah,
right.
Miller's in Anaheim now.
That's right. He's in Anaheim now.
I just think Vancouver has more scoring depth than Edmonton does. And yes, Edmonton has Connor McDavid, but that's one guy.
Yeah.
One guy. And yes, he is a special player, but that's still one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does
Still
have
think
other players he
yeah.
works well with,
He's
and
got
there are
Lucic,
some
Puyo
okay
Harvey,
players. I'm not
Nugent
saying that they're going to
Hopkins.
do anything.
Yeah, but Puyo
amazing.
Harvey's been a third-line winger for them.
Yeah.
And then RGH.
Still better than probably Vancouver.
actually-
RNH isn't playing on the first line
So-
either.
Who's their coach? I forget his name.
It's I got his
I'm
face in
horrible
my
with coaches.
his face is in my head. It's the guy who used to coach San Jose.
Oh, it's fuck. What is his name?
I forget. His
I know
name.
who you were talking about too, but correct me if I'm wrong. But when he took over San Jose already had their
Todd
piece-
McKellen.
Todd McClellan, thank you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when he took over San Jose, they already had their pieces in place. He did
And
not
Edmonton
have to.
did too.
He did not have. Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that Edmonton had no proven track record. San Jose already did.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Todd. Maybe he does well when the players have already established themselves and they've already got a repertoire of being a solid team that they can make runs. Because he did take over a pretty solid San Jose Sharks team. He didn't take over a team that was rebuilding.
Mediocre, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Edmonton's technically not rebuilding anymore. But the problem is that if Edmonton's still having these problems and their rebuild was quote-unquote over last year,
then it's a problem.
then there's
Absolutely.
a fucking problem that needs to be addressed
Personally,
right now.
I don't think it's a coach. I don't think it's a GM. I think it's their scouting. They're scouting these players. And aside from Connor McDavid, these guys aren't performing to what they thought they were.
Yeah.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was a top 3 pick. And Ryan
He
Nugent-Hopkins isn't really showing that he's that top 3 caliber player. He's showing he's a solid player. I'm not trying to take anything that he's done away from him. But Nugent-Hopkins hasn't been playing to that level that they thought he was going to. Same thing with Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall came in. He got drafted as a high pick. He didn't perform to what they thought he was going to be. Got traded to the Devils. And now look
well,
what he's doing.
to be fair, though, I think he got fucked in that deal because he had to deal with the revolving door of coaches and dealing with just that awful fucking Oilers team that he inherited. When he got on that team, he was the only thing good on that team. So I think he got fucked in the end of the way at the end of that deal. But you know what? I don't think he's crying about it anymore because now he's on the Devils and he's going to make my existence a living fucking hell.
Well,
but,
I mean,
you know.
there's still nothing that really impresses me about Edmonton anymore.
No, not really.
They've lost whatever
I
spark
know
they had.
you don't really have any hype for them. So
I mean, the problem is that it's not just that. It's just this Edmonton team, they've always fucking done it. But they had, and this happened before with Taylor Hall, and they made a decent run, and then somewhere down the line they fizzled out and they crashed right back down. They couldn't get anything going again. I think they got up to around like 4th or 5th. But that was a big thing for them at the time because it was like, okay, Edmonton's starting to show that they've got what it takes to finally take that next step. The following year, they were right back down to last fucking place. And I think that was the year Colorado took last place and got Landeskog instead. Boy, I think Edmonton wished they had sucked that year. But we saw it twice. One time they made the playoffs, one time they didn't. It's like it's a consistent thing. That one good year, they fall right back down. It's like something's wrong here. They need to fix their structure. They need to fix something in that organization.
It's got to be their scouting because they're not getting the value out of these players that they have.
The defense is still ass, and that's the problem.
And that's
too.
They didn't.
They took a
They
gamble.
keep taking offensive players.
Yeah, and the other issue, they took a gamble on Neil Yakupov, who really didn't pan out all that well for them.
Not at all.
And that was just one of those things where just like you took the highest player on your defense. One thing you could say is, for all the things you could say about not taking the best player available to you, it's not necessarily. I'm not saying you don't. If you get the number 1 overall pick, you fucking take the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah,
obviously, don't be stupid.
Take the game changer.
But if you know that to this certain point there are no game changers, that's the moment you say,
you got to work.
Fuck
on
it, we're gonna go find somebody else
Yeah.
because I don't care what his rating is. If he's not a game changer, and we know he's not a game changer, and an eye test or stats can tell you anything you want to know about a guy, you can pretty much say, you know what? We're not picking him. We're going with somebody else that we feel more confident in. Look at Hexie. He's taking gambles on guys that you wouldn't think he took gambles on, and they panned out. Traded up for a guy like Travis Konechny, who was number 22 overall. What the hell did we think he was going to do? Look at him now. He's on the starting roster.
It's
you know?
like I said, it goes beyond the GM. You got to rely on the scouting.
True.
And Edmonton's scouting hasn't been good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
They're
true.
just missing on players. And
Very true.
They're taking all these offensive guys in the first round. Take a defensive player. Take somebody who's going to be that game changer on defense because they need it.
Or at least get a solid goalie that has a proven track record.
Oh, you're never going to see a goal in the first 3 rounds.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying to make up for your problems at the moment, in the meantime, find a capable goalie, and that may actually hold you for at least a decent amount of time before you get those shakers and movers on your defense. Yeah. But that's the way I would look at it from Edmonton's point. All right, so that's number 6. You guys gave yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we got really into Edmonton there for a quick second.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough. I have my top 2, but the bottom 3 through 5 is where I'm going to have my biggest problem with jumbling up these teams.
I think we're going to see something similar to last year as far as these top 5 go.
We are, but it's going to be weird.
It is in some ways. I think positioning is going to change a little bit.
Yeah.
So, number 5 for me is going to be the Los Angeles Kings. I think the Kings, as good as Quick has been, it's not the same team. And unfortunately, even with Ilya Kovalchuk coming to that team, we don't really know how he's going to work.
Yeah.
He's been away from the NHL for how many years now? It's a different game from the KHL. It's a smaller rink, obviously, more physical play. It's not the same style. How much of an effect is that going to have on him coming back? You know, I don't think he'll have as much of an effect on him since he's a veteran player and he's a capable player, so he'll probably make the adjustment quickly, but it's going to have an effect on him somewhat. Also, like I said, that the team's not the same. It's not the same defense. It's not the same offense. This is a team that really heavily relies on its offense, and they get very low production out of them a lot of times. And when you're depending heavily on Quick to snag you 1-goal games, yeah, he's capable of doing it, but how many times can he do it? Remember, this isn't 20-something-year-old Jonathan Quick you're dealing with right now. You know, I mean, I think, isn't he in his 30s?
He's about my age.
Yeah, so you get my point. You know, by that time in the goalie career, not to say you're bad, so I'm not saying that. He's not. But he's not 20-something-year-old Johnny Quick.
Yeah.
You know, he's 30-something-year-old Johnny Quick. Age does happen, you know, even to the best of goalies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that does include Quick. I don't think the Kings – I don't see the Kings really doing as well this year as they did last year. I think last year the major reason why is because a team that I have higher up wasn't around to bother them. So they were able to compete in that wild card race really undeterred for the most part. The only team that was giving them any fits was Colorado and Dallas towards the end, but Dallas fizzled out and Colorado took the spot.
Yeah.
You know, so I look at it this way. Kings have to try and get a wild card again. I don't really see them improving.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Go ahead for number 5 because I'm still thinking because it's tough.
It is tough.
It is. It really is. But I think I might have to put Calgary here.
Yeah.
I think the Kings are still a very good team. They're going to still be a team that competes. As much as Calgary's improved, it's going to be really, really tight race. And I don't know. I think it's going to come down to goaltending between 4 and 5, and I think LA's got the better goaltending.
Yeah. See, I'm all jumbled up. I really am. This has been tough. This has been real tough.
I mean, Calgary, it has been tough. Calgary's improved so much on paper.
I'm very high on Calgary right now, and I don't know if I'm going to be too high. And I hate to do this, but the Ducks didn't really do much this offseason. I know where they were last year.
They're getting pieces back.
But it's just they didn't really, compared to, you know, the Kings get a big name like Kovalchuk. Like you said, it's different, but it's going to be a lot more scoring for them. I mean, they only let up 203 goals last season, the Kings.
Well, that's Johnny Quick is the major cause of that.
I mean,
and
the defense,
Drew Doughty on defense.
And Drew Doughty,
the defense didn't really change much. And then, let me get through this real quick. Calgary, to me, got a lot better. And to me, it's hard, and I don't want to diss your team because you know a lot more about them. But the Ducks, when I see it, they didn't really get a game changer except for Luke Shen. And
you said game changer, right?
Yes, and that's exactly why I want to put the Ducks 5, but I don't. But I just have this sick feeling that
based
they're not.
On that one player.
They're not. But I'm just saying though. I mean, in all reality though, who else did they get?
They signed Adam Henrique to a 5-year contract extension, and he was a huge
acquisition.
That was,
but that was already on your team last season.
So with Anaheim, real quick, and we'll break down Anaheim a little bit more on the other side.
Yeah.
But you got some major guys coming back from injury. Yeah. You have Kane Fowler, who missed a lot of time. You have Patrick Eaves, who's coming back, who had a really great showing with Anaheim.
Persuade me, please.
2 years ago. And we'll go into more.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll
break
it down a little more.
I'll have an official decision on the other side.
Gotcha. So real quick, since we have to head to break, Brian, who was your number 5? L.A. Okay. So you agreed with me on Los Angeles positioning. And we will head to break. And when we come back, we will wrap up our Pacific Division breakdown, and we will go through our top 4. So basically meaning whoever will win a wild card spot most likely, and the top 3 players in the division for this year. That's on the other side. And this first part was brought to you by Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030. Email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. Folks, if you were joining us on the Facebook, we thank you so very much for joining us, but don't panic. You can see the rest of the show.
Meet us on the tube.
Yep. All you got to do is click on the link that's going to be down in the comments section. Click on that bad boy, and you will join us on YouTube for the rest of the show. If you are on YouTube, do not go anywhere. We will be right back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the Real Talk Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I am Matt Sassuti. This is the Penguin lover, Michael Klenkoff.
Get it out. Get it out.
And that is the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What up, what up?
We got Ryan Brodo behind the board. And this portion of the Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by Gibson Mare LLC. Ladies, gentlemen, have you ever just been ready to just do it? Just get it out. You know what you want to do, you want to go do it, and you want to have a good time doing it. But the problem is, no matter what that is, whether it is you heading to your favorite event, like a football game where the Browns might lose, or to a hockey event of some kind where you could see the Anaheim Ducks face the Las Vegas Golden Knights, or whether or not you just want to go to your local strip joint. Thing is, you're going to need money. You really are. And you want the most money you can get, and you're going to need to make sure you get the best on your tax return.
Oh.
So do yourself a favor. Call Gibson Mare LLC, your certified public accountants. They are located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. You can give them a call at 215-369-3300. Tax season will be back before you know it, so be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mare. And trust me, your local stripper will love you for it.
Good to know.
Wow.
What are you looking at me for?
All right, so I'm coming back with number 5.
Please do so.
I will go with the Kings.
So you were persuaded?
I was persuaded.
Also, keep in mind, Anaheim is really one of the best home teams, especially in that division. They're on the road, but they're a really, really good home team.
Okay. By the way, David Roska chimed in and said, did you watch Total Divas? No, I did not. Although I did hear that it returned to the lowest rating that the show has ever had on the E! Network. I'm surprised it still exists, honestly. Oh,
Yeah, I don't
God.
got time for that.
No, I really don't.
I mean, it's a bunch of hot girls, but, I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah, but you could go find that on, like,
Here we go.
laptops and,
Yeah, we got a solid 20 left.
Yeah,
Let's get this through.
do I have...
We got a whole wrestling show that you guys just had a 2-hour show on. So
Listen, I'm just saying. Anyway, so feel free to look at that show. if
Roscoe,
you're
that's when you were
interested.
supposed to talk about it. All right.
Come on, Dave. This is hockey.
All right, so on to number 4. And so we're in the top 4 of the Pacific Division. And this is where I'm putting the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
Reason being is because Anaheim is still a very solid team. They still have a really great offense. And great goaltending. So it's really not an issue. I just think the competition is going to be extremely tight. The only team that I'm guaranteeing is going to miss the playoffs, to me, is the Los Angeles Kings out of these 5 teams that are going to be competitive in the division. For the Ducks, I say they still make it. I think they make it on a wild card, though, this time around, instead of being in a division spot.
Yeah.
It's tough because, like I said, they have a bunch of pieces coming back.
They do.
Cam Fowler hopefully will last another 82-game season. Patrick Eaves is coming back. He should be good to go. Ryan Kessler skating should be good to go
That's
come
the big
October. So the guys will be there.
No, I'm not saying the guys won't be there. I know they will be.
You know what you're getting out of Jonathan Quick.
Will
The
Corey
comp-
Perry score 10 goals this year? Like,
Corey Perry, you don't rely on him anymore. He's nothing more than a third-line winger.
But, well, I'm just saying,
it's crazy
though,
what he's
it's just
become.
the competition's going to be heavy. You
Yeah.
know, that's the thing.
He's a victim of the
it's
system.
not the placement is not based on skill. It's based on just competition. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a tough division once you get up there. You know, once you get up there, it's
Absolutely.
tight. You know, it's not like other divisions where in the Atlantic, it's clearly only 3 teams and maybe a 4th being Florida. And that's it. There's really not much else after that. I mean, Buffalo might create some headaches, but that's pretty much it. You know, it's a much tougher division.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It absolutely is. I mean, between Vegas and San Jose and Calgary all improving over the offseason, I could understand why you're down on the Ducks. But the Ducks, Yeah, they didn't go out and make a major move,
I'm not saying they had to.
but they still have a really solid goaltender in Gibson.
Oh, I know.
They still have a solid defense being led by Cam Fowler and Hampus Lindholm and Josh Manson, who's proven to be a real gritty defenseman. And then you still got that offense. And Randy Carlyle runs a fairly good offense.
Listen, I know all about this from Anaheim. I'm just saying, like, competition's going to be tough. It wouldn't surprise me if the Ducks took and this is really not it's not as bad. You know, it's like, okay, so you make it as a wild card 1 year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what position you're in. What really matters is what you make. It's not the hand you're dealt with, it's how you play it. So you can make it with a wild card, and you can make a splash. Who knows? If people aren't paying attention to the Ducks either, if this plays out the way it is, they could fuck over a couple of teams and make a run.
I think Calgary is going to be your fourth-place team.
Hey, that's your opinion. You are entitled to it. I'm just saying, I think Anaheim, I think they'll be the ones taking the wild card spot. It's going to be a tight race. It'll only be like maybe by 2-3 points. It's really going to be that close. It's going to come down to like the wire.
I mean, it was 11 points between first and fourth last year, and that was Vegas, Anaheim, San Jose, and L.A. So it's still going to be a tight race.
It is.
Regardless.
Yeah,
but
so placement could be anywhere.
Anaheim plays Calgary well. These changes aren't really going to, I think, affect that head-to-head, but it could. I still think Anaheim's, on paper, is still a way better team than Calgary.
Well, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying depending upon what the season's going to be like, I just think that one team's going to have a better year than the other. It has nothing to do with what team's better on paper. You could have the worst team in the world, but guess what? If you have a run, you could be first place. Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay went worst to first and wound up winning a Stanley Cup out of it. So it's like anything can fucking happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Again, I mean, I might. Oh my God, this is like I said. This is where it gets tough. 5 through 3 was going to be the toughest spot in this division here.
So I'm going to assume, Brian, that you have Calgary at 4th.
Yeah.
Okay. Mikey.
Despite all of Calgary's moves, oh man, I still want to say the Ducks as well as 4th. I mean, I wanted to put them 5th. But
then you were browbeaten into putting them up.
Listen. I still think the Ducks will make the playoffs. So they'll be the number 1 wild card. But it's just, I don't know. I maybe I'm too high on Calgary this year. But I mean,
no. But that's the thing, though.
I'm trying to take a chance here with what I'm picking.
That's the thing, though. Look at what Calgary was lacking the first time they came into the playoffs, and I'm not even saying 2 years ago. I'm saying before that, too. Yeah. They lacked a goaltender. They found a goaltender. After that, they then built themselves back up. They had even more younger players that were showing, holy shit, this team is dangerous. They got to the playoffs. They made a scare, and they got eliminated. But that team really didn't go anywhere. That's still the same team. They just had a bad year last year. And it's not like Edmonton, where Edmonton just outright refuses to fix shit that needs to be fixed. Calgary went and fixed
They went and fixed their defense.
A lot of shit that they needed to fix.
Which was big, and, getting James Neal as well. This is more the reason why I do want to go with them. I know Brian's saying that they're getting a lot of players back in Anaheim, which is great. But, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm too high on Calgary, but I just have to go Ducks 4.
All right, then. So,
it's just
Ducks in the wild card.
I ain't mad.
Calgary in the wild card. And then on to the number 3 spot. This is where I have Calgary. Again, I think Calgary as a team structure-wise, yes, when you look at them on paper, I would even say when you look at them on paper, they're not that far off from that level of the Ducks, at least in my opinion. I think not everything is perfect with them, but they're not that far away from being on Anaheim's level. I'm not saying they are on Anaheim's level. I think they're going to have a really good bounce-back year, though. And sometimes when you go on a bounce-back year, it doesn't really matter what team's more talented. You get on that kind of vibe and you have a good start to your year, and a young team like that can feed off of that. They got a really solid goalie, too. So it's not really a question mark there, and it can happen. You can get elevated to that just based on that alone. You don't really need to have more talent than the other team, or you can have less talent and be in a higher spot in the playoffs. Doesn't mean you're going to get far, but you can have a really great year and take a higher spot in the division.
No, I agree. But I have Anaheim in 3. I mean, let's face it. San Jose and Vegas are the teams to beat in this division.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, 3 through 5 is going to be the hardest range in this division to go off of, and I think either one of them could go either way. You know, these 3 teams are going to battle for that 3 through 5, honestly. So
yeah, and like I've been saying earlier, like Anaheim finished in second place last year. That's an Eric Carlson-less San Jose Sharks.
yeah,
Now that they have him, that ups their defense much more, and it's going to make Marty Jones a lot more difficult to try and score on. So that's going to put San Jose above Anaheim in my book. But, you know, Anaheim is going to still be one of the top teams to beat in the division. And it's going to continue because they are still fairly young. They're getting pieces back. They're going to finally be a team that's back at 100%. And they're going to have a couple young guys fill in on these open spots that they have. Yeah, they didn't go out and get any flashy players, but there's young guys to fill spots that they need to be filled, and there's a lot of talent in Anaheim's farm system.
Well, Anaheim didn't need to. So that's the thing. They didn't need to do that. And it's a good thing they didn't, because why would you do that when you don't need to?
No, I mean, you have Max Jones, who's on the brink, Sam Steele, who's on the brink. There's a couple other guys. Jacob Larson, who's on the brink. Like, these kids are ready, and they're going to go out and they're going to compete. Andre Kasha needs to have a repeat of last year, where he had 20, somewhere between 22 and 25 goals last year.
Yeah.
If he can have another repeat of that, there's your second-line winger right there. So, I mean, Anaheim's building from within. They're bringing up the youth as they're rotating out all the veterans that decide they want to walk. And it's great. This team is always has the window open. It might be a crack right now, but it's still open.
I really like Calgary's defense a lot, and that's the reason why I'm putting them at 3 over Anaheim. I mean, they still have Brody, Giordano. They brought in Travis Hamonic, Noah Hannafin as well, and then still having Mike Stone. I mean, their defense is pretty solid defense. I mean, and then obviously having Mike Smith as their goaltender is even better. He's finally got a defense in front of him instead of playing in Arizona. You know, drafting Tkachuk this year, that's going to bring some spark and, you know, young players to their offense. And then just, like I said, bringing in James Neal, working with a Monahan, working with a Gaudreau. You know, the team offensively still a little bit shaky. Defensively has gotten a lot better, though.
Agreed.
So, I mean, that's where I'm looking at here. Obviously, they do need like I said, they addressed their biggest issue, and that was letting in too many goals last year. They were minus 30 last season. And like I said, that's been addressed this year. I do believe that they will be a lot better. I hope I'm not wrong. I know in your case, you hope that I am wrong. Like I said, it's going to go either way. It's definitely this division and our division are going to be the top 2 divisions to watch this year. Absolutely.
I think they all are. I think they're all going to be very tough this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun year. The talent is very spread out. So I love it. Love every bit of it.
All right, then. On to number 2. And this is where we're also going to have maybe a few more arguments. I actually put the Las Vegas Golden Knights at number 2. And no offense to the Golden Knights, but I think there's going to be a bit of a letdown this year. You know, you have that first year, you have that great
it's
run.
the hangover.
Yeah, you're going to suffer it a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to say they're probably going to be a little dangerous in the playoffs. But that's the thing. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs, and I think that that's what's going to result in them probably going to not win the division. That will be their letdown.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. I would rather have their letdown be during the regular season, battling for the division, and you got your
Sam Darnold was intercepted. The Browns have the ball with 1:20 left, by the way.
Sounds like Browns got their first win.
Well, Jets still have 3 timeouts left, so all the Brownies all they have to do is get one more first down. Sorry, go on.
Okay. So with that, I just think the Golden Knights, they're probably going to have one big letdown for them this year, and I think that's probably why they're not going to win the division. But that's not the worst thing in the world. You don't win a division, it's like, all right, that's fine. We can be second place.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're not going to win. That doesn't mean we're going to lose, you know? So I think I see Las Vegas finishing second this year in the division.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree.
I don't know. I mean, I think Vegas as well. I mean, they're only going to drop one spot. And I'm the same way. I don't know. I mean, getting Carlson is phenomenal. I mean, he could score. He's a great defenseman along with Burns. I mean, if you split them, you can't play them on the same line. But you have to split them up. And splitting them up, just imagine going up against a defense where you're like, shit, I got to go up against Brent Burns. Well, shit, now I got to go up against Carlson.
Here's the other thing, too. Here's one thing that Vegas does not have this coming season like they did last season. No one knew what this team was going to be like.
Yeah.
No one knew how this team was going to function.
Yeah.
They didn't know if this team was going to be good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
They found out by the second half that, holy shit, this team's good. But by then, it's like, well, it's too late to stop them now. Now they're really going to be looking at this team like, all right, they're a serious player. We got to play 100%. We got to be on our fucking A game. We have to make them understand that we're better than them.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think too many teams are looking at it the same way they would have a regular NHL team. They weren't going to look at the Knights immediately like they look at the Ducks coming into town like, okay, we got to play the Ducks. We got to be on our fucking A game.
Yeah.
You know, they're got to be like, okay, we're facing the Knights. We don't know how this team's going to fucking work. And now they know that, all right, this team's actually a player. We need to be ready for them, and we need to be ready to go against them.
Well, here's the thing. Vegas is my number one. They're going to win the Pacific Division again. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because they have something that San Jose doesn't. A very potent offense. There's some good players going on in San Jose. I'm not going to take anything away from them. The guys like Joe Pavelski, guys like Joe Thornton. They're good players. They have a better defense, yes. But, yeah, Vegas lost James Neal. But who did they go out and get? Paul Stastny. They went out and they made a move to get Max Pacioretty. They still have the legend in net in Marc-Andre Fleury. Their defense didn't change at all.
I don't think it's so much of their roster.
It's not any expectations anymore. It's not Vegas strong anymore. Now it's just the Vegas Knights.
See, but
and they improved massively in this offseason.
Overall, I don't think it's the fact that we're arguing their roster. I think their roster is still very good. It's just that I don't think, like Maddie said, I think the expectations, it would be way too high to say that they're going to win that division again. And
they're the better team. They're the best team in the Pacific Division on paper.
On paper. But that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen.
But everybody had the low expectations for him last year.
Yes.
And they had a really good team on paper.
But you
had William Carlson who just shot 40 goals.
You always have a low expectation of an expansion team coming in. No one ever says that this expansion team's going to do well. Most people pretty much say this team's going to fucking blow, you know? Yeah. And a lot of expansion teams
but look at the draft. Look at the players they had available and look at what Vegas drafted.
Yes.
I told you Vegas wasn't going to be a team to sit on.
Well,
I told you that last year.
You said that. We didn't know how it was going to be. It could have gone the total opposite direction. It could have been a complete shit show in Vegas. You never know with that. That's a gamble right there. You're picking a whole bunch of players from a whole bunch of different teams that were not protected, and you got the expansion draft on that, and then you had your draft picks.
And it came down to the scouting, and it came down to the GM picking the right players, and they did.
And they did a brilliant job. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it could have gone south just as much as it went to the north, and it went very, very well for them, and they wound up winning a division. But again, like anything in sports, you have a great first year. You know it's coming. They can't keep this up forever. Yes, they lost in the Stanley Cup final, but that's still a high expectation the fans are going to have coming into this year. They think their team's going to immediately roll in and make a phenomenal run, and maybe they will, but that doesn't mean that a team like the Sharks or even a team like Anaheim can't sneak up on them and take something from them.
No, I agree, but at the same time,
that's quite possible.
They went out and they have 3 captains on their team now.
I understand that, but it's not like they're not the only team with leaders. They are not the only team with leadership.
Yeah, but now they have William Carlson, who proved that he's a 40-goal scorer in the league. They have Max Pacioretty, who's a 30-goal scorer in the league. They have Paul Stastny, who's a 25, 30-goal scorer in the league. They have the offensive depth. They in the expansion draft drafted for defense. And they have a stellar defense, and they have a really good goalie in Marc-Andre Fleury. There's nobody that's going to compete with this team in the Pacific Division.
That's hard to say.
Yeah, Sharks went out and got Carlson. That's good for them, but that's not going to put them over the edge of the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm sorry. That's defense. What do they have offensively? Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton.
Evander Kane.
Which Evander Kane are they getting, though?
Yeah, the $8 million one.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean.
Are they going to get the Evander Kane who's going to be a locker room cancer? Or are they going to get the Evander Kane who came up and showed himself what he can actually do in the playoffs?
Yeah.
He's a huge question mark.
It is a question mark, but I still, I don't know. Like I said, it's not so much that we're looking at the roster. It's just that I just don't think that they're gonna be as good as last year. It's tough. Believe me, it's tough to say that because I'm all about Vegas. I enjoy the team a lot, but I just feel that these two teams are gonna battle for first and second, and I just think the Sharks are just gonna slightly be better than them.
Plus, also,
it's going to be a battle. That's for certain.
And plus, also, let's not forget this too. As much as the love for Marc-Andre Fleury is here, is he going to have the same season he had last year?
As long as the defense plays in front of him like they did last year.
That's fine. That's another but that's a question mark, though. And I only say it because age. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, and that's the first thing everybody wanted to jump down my throat on, just like, oh, well, just because he's old, he's bad. No, that's not the reason why. Is he going to show signs of that is the real question. Maybe he won't, and if he doesn't, fine. Vegas is got no worries, but if he does, they may have a slight problem here. And I'm not saying a slight problem is in the sense of they're going to be in deep shit. No, they're still going to be perfectly fine and capable, but they're not going to be as, safe as they were last year. Because last year, they could depend on Fleury to just snag things from any team that competed against them. Offensively wise, look at it this way. When that series happened with the Kings, and yes, the Kings struggled against them, but there was multiple occasions where the Kings had a chance to either tie a game or take the lead, and Fleury single-handedly stopped it from happening.
Absolutely.
Fleury stopped a lot of teams from competing with them offensively. If he doesn't perform to that level, does that have an effect on the team?
No.
You got to wonder, though.
No.
Does it?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Look at last year when Fleury got hurt early on in the year. They have goalie issues for the first month. Mm-hmm. Goalie after goalie after goalie went down. They still won. They still played in front, and the goaltender still performed well. Goaltending is a depth of theirs. And they have who is it? Max Subban is their backup or Malcolm? Sorry,
Malcolm Subban.
Vegas is going to be fine.
Vegas is going to be fine. Absolutely. I just don't know if they'll win the division again.
I think they'll win the division.
Like I said, it's going to be close.
They're the strongest team.
It's going to be absolutely close. So we'll have to see.
Hey, it's the regular season. It's not always the strongest team that wins. Sometimes it's the luckiest team at the end of the day. Good bounce goes your way.
Intercepted. The Brownies won.
Win a few games. Next thing you know, you're leading the division. It can happen. The Flyers wound up getting lucky. Well, not really lucky. We wound up getting unlucky, and we drew the fucking Penguins, which I would have rather have drawn the Capitals, but that's just me.
Yeah, you're going to see more luck on playoff time than the regular season.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Either way, though, a lot of contributing factors can come down to it during the regular season. Whether it's defense that wins the day, offense that wins the day, doesn't really matter. We'll find out what happens during the regular season, won't we?
Yes,
we'll see
absolutely.
who is number one in the Pacific. Will it be the Sharks? Will it be the Knights? It could be either one of those teams, quite frankly. It's going to be a battle between those two. We know that for a fact.
Yes.
It's one of those two teams getting a banner in their building come the end of this year.
Yep.
So
that I can agree on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever one wins that division, please don't win the President's Trophy because you know what fucking happens with that.
They won't win the cup.
That will not end well.
No, absolutely not. I don't think they will.
Nah, President's Trophy I think is coming out of the Central Division again.
I wouldn't be surprised, and that will probably fuck whatever team wins that division again.
The Jets.
Predators.
As long as if the Jets, oh man, if James is still watching, he ain't gonna be happy with that one. James, just saying, dude, don't win the President's Trophy. You don't want it. It's just a piece of fucking hardware you can throw in your trophy case that ain't worth a fucking thing. Trust
Not
Speaking
a-
of the Jets, they got smoked 7-3.
Wow.
me. I don't.
Again,
They may have
preseason.
just been starting rookies, so who knows?
Puya Harvey, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Marco Dano, Adam Lowry. I don't know that guy. Connor McDavid. I don't know
Oh,
that
wow,
guy.
okay.
Nugent-Hopkins, Milan Lucic.
Yeah, so it looks like Oilers went full force here tonight.
They did. I mean, hey, they got to overachieve in some areas. It's not like they're going to during
In
the regular
preseason
season.
hockey.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. In the regular season, we all know they're going to be shit.
Mhm.
So, oh, God. What must it be
Golden
like?
Knights up 3-0
Mm-hmm.
in a split squad game.
Who is?
Vegas.
Ah. All right, then. How much time we got left in the show here, Brodo?
We're over by 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. He gave us the sign about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, all right, then. I think it's time for us to close this bad
Even
boy
I
out
missed it.
then.
Oh, believe me, I've been looking at Ryan because I've been watching the game and looking back at him. So
No one bothered to tell me this. Anyway.
he did it 4 times.
That's what
You
this
g-
means.
I
That
was
was-
talking
you
to
guys were-
Brian.
you guys
me and
were
Brian were
arguing,
having a
so-
conversation over here.
You guys were in an
between
argument.
I missed it.
Yeah, me and him were talking about who was going to win first place in the Pacific Division.
Vegas.
How the fuck am I supposed to know? There ain't no
Vegas.
mirror. Like, seriously.
Vegas.
And,
The
and
clock
Brian's
on
not
your
transparent, I
computer.
don't think. So, all right. So with that, we will bid you all adieu, and we will see you all next week. And this is where me and this guy are going to have our differences of
Oh,
opinion.
yeah.
Because we have the Metropolitan coming up. That's right, we saved the best for last, the hometown division. And we know for a fact 2 teams will be dead last. After that, it's going to be an interesting situation. So, well, 3 maybe. With that, this has been the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Connecticut Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434, or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. This has been the Hockey Happy Hour. It's time for last call. We'll see you next week right here on A2DRadio.com.
Deuces.